When it comes to safety, here at Gardener, we take things really seriously. And so in today's episode, we're gonna do things quite a lot different than what we normally would do, and we're gonna talk all about safety, because as we have started working with heavy machinery and we're outside far more frequently, there's a whole lot more safety measures that we take. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to highlight those, as well as show all of you the safety measures that we take and that you can take to stay safe. Because as you start to get outside more, you expand your garden more, or you expand your garden into a small farm, there's a lot of things that I think people often forget about or might not consider that you want to consider. Because as a human being, I have several parts of my body that I can only injure once. And those are the things that I really want to protect. So we're gonna talk all about how we protect our ears, our eyes, our toes, fingers, and even skin here on today's episode. Let's go. So I know this first one will seem pretty elementary, but it's something that I didn't take seriously at first, and I really regretted it. That is toe protection. Here on the farm, even in the garden, I would highly recommend considering wearing closed-toed shoes at a minimum, steel-toed shoes if you're working with heavy machinery. Prime example, this right here. There's about 480 pounds here, and that really emphasizes why steel-toed boots is very important. These, they will protect your feet. And that's why in the garden, when you're working with shovels, you're slamming shovels down, or pickaxes, or other type of gardening tools, you're making your raised beds and you're carrying around lumber. Your toes are so fragile, believe it or not. And you can break a toe, you can break toenails, you can lose a toe really easily. Not to mention, coming back here, okay, over this side, so we've got farming implements, right? Farming implements, these suckers, these are blades. This is a 5-foot tiller. We have a brush hog, right? And now obviously, common sense, we keep our toes well away from the machine. There's other safety measures that we take, like we turn off the machine when we're hooking stuff up. But there's lots of times where I've thought, well, I'll just leave the machine running, I'll hook it up real quick, it'll save some time, and that way I don't have to go through the whole startup process, I'll just start it up. Well, these spinning blades, again, steel-toed boots. So important that we wear toe protection, because if you don't and you lose a toe, it's pretty hard to put back on. So consider those things, especially, I mean, if you're mowing your grass, mowing your lawn with a push mower or a riding lawnmower, I can't tell you how many times growing up I thought, I'll be safe, I'll be fine. That's silly. But it takes just one mistake for you to lose a toe or a limb for your whole life to change. And I don't want to see that happen. So that is toe protection. Get yourself some nice steel-toed boots. These are just Caterpillar brand. I bought these on sale. And in all honesty, they were about $85. Your toes are worth a whole lot more than $85, because if you were to lose a toe and have to go into the ICU, you're probably looking at between $5,000 and $7,000, if not more. So $85, worth the investment. Up next, ear protection. Now there's lots of different forms of ear protection, but let me tell you, your ears are so important. You only get 2 of them, and when they're gone, they're gone. So I protect mine like I only have 2 of them. Here I have a couple different forms. These are an over-the-head earmuff produced by 3M. These can be a little bit cumbersome, but if it sounds like I'm yelling, it's because I can hardly hear. So these are really insulating. These will insulate up to about 40 decibels. These are just some super inexpensive foam earplugs. These are like 99 cents. You squeeze them, you roll them between your fingers, stick them in your ears, and they expand once they're in your ear canal. These are not the greatest, but they're certainly better than nothing. And these are good in a pinch. Now, these can protect up to about 25 to maybe 30 decibels at most. Again, is it the best thing in the world? No, they do easily fall out, but it's so important you protect your ears, because any sound over about 80 decibels can actually cause damage. And the final form of ear protection that I like to use, not a sponsor, are loop earplugs. Now the reason why I love loop earplugs, again, not a sponsor, I'll have links to them in the description box down below. If you get these, or any of these, you'll help support the channel, which is awesome, but I'm just gonna throw some Amazon links to them in the description box. These are super low profile. I've taken these to concerts. These are like the go-to thing for concerts. They are really, really small, but that makes them not as noticeable. But the thing I love about them is they have a variety of different tips that allow you to push them in your ear. And these are good for, I think, about 25 to 30 decibels as well, but they stay in your ears. I mean, these suckers, they're going nowhere, which is great because I can't say the same for some of the push-in earplugs that are commonly used. Also is really nice is, honestly, you kind of have to see up close to notice that anyone's wearing anything. They come out super easily. I've never ever had a problem wearing these, and they're, like I said, they're really stylish, very easy to use, and they can come out pretty easily. Now, you might find yourself using like noise canceling headphones. Sure, Beats Audio, it's another great option. I use those when I mow because sometimes I'll throw on some music. However, something that we make a big practice of is anytime we're using heavy machinery, another safety tip is we actually don't use music. We don't allow headphones here on the farm, because if you are tuning into some music and you're running a lawnmower and the music is becoming that sound, not only is that defeating the purpose, sometimes those headphones can actually be just as damaging because the sound is going right into your ear, but also it's really hard to hear your surroundings. If someone is shouting at you, hey, stop, you're gonna run over a hose, or hey, stop, there's a small child in front of the tractor, you're never gonna hear them. So on the farm, we don't use them. It's strictly prohibited. We do not do that. But if you're someone that wants to wear over the head headphones as well, noise canceling headphones, those can be great. The big thing that I would say that is a must is some type of ear protection. It's by far, when you're weed whacking, lawn mowing, especially on a tractor, all things make really loud sounds. And if you're exposed to them long enough, you really want to be careful. Final tip here is, and again, not a sponsor, I actually use my iWatch. Whether you have a Garmin or an iWatch, an Android watch, they all should have some form of decibel reading. And on my watch here, I can actually scroll down to a setting called noise. And that noise will tell me what my current decibels are at. So if I am yelling into my watch, you can see that if I was exposed to that, it gives you a real-time feedback for how loud something is. So what's great is you can take these protect, like, let's say 40 decibels. If I was in a 100 decibel environment, now I'm right around 60 to 70 decibels, right? So important, so important. These reduce the sound. They might be dumb looking, your neighbors might laugh at you, but at the end of the day, as one of my greatest workplace safety mentors taught me, it's not always a fashion show, because we're protecting things that are really valuable. So it's not meant to look pretty, it's meant to be safe. The third way we protect ourselves is from insects. Now, this might seem really silly, and again, I don't care if it seems silly. We take it really seriously here. We all put on, whether you use natural or whether you use, I guess would say unnatural, DEET spray, so important, especially here on the farm. We're walking through tall grass all the time. During tick season, Lyme disease is a very real thing. Ticks are a very real thing. Mosquitoes, they're not as much of a concern. They're an annoyance. They can carry some nasties. They can carry some viruses like West Nile virus. I'm not as concerned about those. I am concerned about ticks though. So one way we do that is by taking, this is, again, not a sponsor. I use this. I love this. It's called STEM. This is mosquito and tick repellent. I take it and I basically just spray down my legs and I spray down my boots. Now, if you're using a product like DEET, you can take your clothing and send it off. There's actually companies that will essentially infuse your clothing with DEET. That's a wonderful option if you like using that. Also, if you're walking in tall grass, you'll notice I'm wearing shorts right now. I would not be walking in tall grass with shorts. I'd be wearing pants. Even if it was 85, 90 degrees out, I'd be wearing pants. Because ticks, once they get on you, if you don't catch them, they can carry a whole host of really, really nasty diseases, one being Lyme's disease, and you really don't want to mess with that. So this is something that I never once thought about. I mean, I put on mosquito spray, but I did not think of this as a way to keep myself safe. And as we've had now 3 of our staff have ticks on them, we've now just basically said, look, if you're walking in tall grass, out in the orchard, it's fine. Like, there's rarely ticks out there. It's typically the perimeters in the back. Anytime we're like weed whacking, brush hogging, working in tall grass, it's a must. Just throw something on. You'll definitely thank yourself later for that little step. And also, this is not guaranteed to prevent ticks. It's a good preventative, but the biggest guarantee is by doing tick checks. Tick checks are so important. You should do them anytime you're in tall grass, and especially during your prime tick season. Check your legs, check your ankles. You know, wear white socks. You can really see them standing out, white socks. Especially check under your armpits, the back of your scalp, right? Pull your scalp back, have someone check, run your hands through your hair. They can sometimes be very small. So be very careful with ticks. It's certainly something that I don't want to see you exposed to if there's certainly ways you can prevent it. 4th is eye protection. Now, I have glasses on right now, but if I am weed whacking or I'm basically using anything that could fling material, even if I'm using the brush hog, I'm going to throw on eye protection. Now, glasses are okay. That's kind of like your baseline level of protection. I prefer workplace safety wraparound glasses. I have some that I forgot to bring today, but I'm not really using any. We're just harvesting tomatoes today. But if I was weed whacking, I'd bring them with me here. And I've got a pair of, they kind of look like pit vipers. They're a little bit nerdy. And again, safety is not about a fashion show. It's about staying safe. And I put those on because I can't tell you how many times I thought it was just stupid to wear eye protection. Like, that's dumb. I'm not going to do that. Well, I had 2 times where I had a piece of like stick or debris hit me right on the cheek, just below my eye. Happened twice. First time I thought, whew, that was unlucky. Maybe I should wear some glasses. What are the odds that's going to happen again? Literally 10 minutes later, pew, same spot, smacked me right on the cheek. I thought, okay. We're not, what am I gambling here? Who's going to be making fun of me, right? If anything, they're making fun of safety, and I'd so much rather keep my eyes and be made fun of. So we have, now it's a requirement. Across the board, it's like, you don't weed whack, you don't mow, you don't do anything that could potentially harm your eyes, even working with fence metal. All of our fences, I'll show you. So with our fences, when we were working with our fence, you've got this wire, okay? Well, what happens to wire? Well, boing. This stuff, it springs and it bounces. And this right here is certainly not something that I'd want ending up in my eye. Fence wire, if we're working with the fence, for weed whacking, mowing, doesn't matter. Anytime there's even a fraction of a percent where it's like, should we wear glasses? We put them on. It's not even a question. So it's a must. So we absolutely take eye protection very seriously here. And again, glasses are the very bare minimum. I don't like them because stuff can, like, I just basically poked my eye and stuff can get up underneath your glasses super easily. It's a good start if you got nothing at all, but I personally wouldn't even take them off, put on a pair of protection. So like I said, that's a good start. They also make glasses that pop over top of your glasses so that if you have prescriptions like I do, you can still see what you're doing. Because if you're legally blind and you're weed whacking, that can be just as unsafe. So they do make some eye protection for you. And again, just really smart. So we're gonna move on to the last one, and it's certainly one that it really hits super close to home. The 5th and final protection that we're gonna talk about is one that hits really close to home, like I said. This one is protecting our skin. Now, my dad, about 15 years ago or so, was diagnosed with skin cancer. And luckily they caught it early enough. They removed the malignant melanoma, and he is cancer-free. So, obviously, thank God for that. That's really great. But it's also very preventable. And if you've ever known someone that's gotten any form of cancer, especially skin cancer, the sun can easily kind of become the enemy psychologically, because skin cancer can 100% kill you. And it's certainly something that is not a laughing matter. My dad made me promise him that I would take care of my skin when I'm out in the sun for 8, 9, 10, even 11 hours. And so I promised him, so Dad, this is for you. These are all the things that we are doing here on the farm that I would recommend you do even in the garden, because it changes you. You know, you look at what's the UV index? What are the peak hours of sunlight? You know, is it full sun out or is it cloudy? Like you gauge, it makes you change your whole day, your whole plan. And it really limits just how freeing it can be to be outside. So I'm not saying to be sun's not the enemy. It's just about prevention. And so the first prevention method is ditching the hat and throwing on a wide brim hat. I might look Amish, but man, I'll tell you what, it's got a wide shadow that it casts. This thing really covers my face, my shoulders. It is really wonderful. And if the sun's coming right at me, obviously, that's where we get into other prevention methods for our skin. But this thing I love it. I absolutely love it. Call me Amish all you want. They're doing something right because it works. It's really nice. So, you know, this, I've been wearing this a lot actually, and it's nice. But if you're throwing on a ball cap, or even if that is on, I still will add sunscreen. Sunscreen is something that, you know, some people agree with it, some people don't. That's not the place for it. This is not the place to say sunscreen is the devil, sunscreen is the worst. It's simply that sunscreen can be used to protect your skin from the sun's rays and long-term exposure. So I will throw down some on my neck, my ears, my face. If I'm not wearing pants, I'll throw some on my legs, right? Totally okay to do that. But what you'll notice is I'm not spraying down my arms. I'm not spraying down the rest of my body. Reason being is I'm wearing a sun shirt. And that's the final way that we protect ourselves from the sun. A lot of you have seen me wearing these in the past couple weeks, and that's because I finally found a brand that I really like. This is known as Free Country. Believe it or not, it's probably one of the cheapest brands out there for sun shirts. I've tried a whole host of them, some very expensive, $70, $80. They work exactly the same as this shirt does. Essentially, this is a moisture-wicking, very breathable material that even on a 92-degree day, I'm not sweating any more than I would have had I not been wearing it at all. And that blows in the face of everything that I thought about sun shirts. I thought, oh my gosh, I see people using them in the field. My cousins used them. I've had friends that have used them, working out in landscaping and different forms of agriculture. And I said, oh my gosh, no, t-shirts are the way to go. I mean, it's you got your skin exposed. It can breathe. I can feel the breeze. I can feel the breeze through this, you guys. And I don't have to wear basically any sunscreen. I might put some on my hands, but this is doing the job of covering my body so that I don't have to cover my body all the time with sunscreen, because I do try to limit how much sunscreen I use. I'm at least cognizant of that. And so, do I think sunscreen is the worst thing in the world? No. Do I think it's the best thing in the world? No. So this just gives me an alternative option to protecting my skin. And what's awesome is it's got even like a hood. I love these hooded options because I can throw a hood on and now my neck is protected as well. Now it's just my face that I need to worry about. Back of my hands, if I'm not wearing pants, I got my shorts on so I can work on those areas. But this is incredible. It is a wonderful option. Not a sponsor, Free Country. I would highly recommend it. I always just hated looking like those bubble kids that are allergic to everything and like they're, you know, pasty white and they can go outside for 5 minutes a day and they just have to like be afraid of everything. Like I didn't want to seem like that type of person. I still wanted something that was stylish. I still wanted something that was aesthetic. And that's what I like about these Free Country is like this is one of them, but I've got 4 or 5 different colors. I got them for 25 bucks a piece and they're actually somewhat aesthetic. They're somewhat stylish and they don't look baggy and weird looking. So I really like these and I've had a ton of people ask me about them. And so those are the things that we do to protect ourselves from the sun. The final way we protect ourselves from the sun that I didn't think about were sunglasses. Specifically for us, out on our seed beds, our white seed beds, the white is really bright. Sunglasses are a must. You can get sun blindness so easily, or snow blindness, right? Snow blindness. If you've ever been outside and it's been snowing out, the sun reflects off the snow and shoots right into your eyes, and you can actually cause some damage. People that work in the salt flats that harvest salt, they all go blind by like age 40, age 50 because the sun is just burning their retinas out. So wear some sunglasses as well. If it's sunny out, that's not a bad idea. But those are all the ways we protect ourselves. There's probably a lot more as well, but these are just the main ones that I thought you guys should consider or think about. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new, and I really hope this video does well, because internally I did fear making this video just because it's probably not the most conventional gardening video, but I do think it's super important. And so that's why I'm maybe sacrificing a little bit of viewership for the sake of keeping some people safe. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, this is Luke from the My Gardener channel, reminding you to like this video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you also enjoyed, because we have a lot more gardening and farming related content coming up, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. Stay safe, happy gardening, we'll catch you all later. Grow bigger, bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting mygardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.